Hello YouTube, the Kingpin of Cinema here, and excuse me if I cough at all. I've been working off of a bit of a flu, but, it's been 1 year since I started doing these reviews, and I decided to come back on the camera on a little bit of a solo project. Last year I started off my videos with the worst and the best of 2009, and that's what I'm going to be doing now. This list is going to be the top or TWOP 12 worst movies of 2010. Now, 2010 was a bit of a mixed year when it came to film. A lot of shit came out this year, and let me tell you, when it got bad, it was bad. But, we still had a lot of good gems, too. But first, let's get through the shit before we can get to the gold. So, number 12 on my list is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Why did it make the list? Well, because it sucked. Well, that's obvious. The real reason is that this movie rips off every other film out there, to the point you just might as well just be watching those movies instead of this movie. And what movies does it rip off? Well, Harry Potter, even Clash of the Titans, the original, and superhero genre. The list just goes on and on. Next, number 11 is Kevin Smith's Turd Cop-Out. I'm a fan of Kevin Smith, I'll admit that, but this movie sucked. And he could have just came out and said, you know what, this movie is a bunch of schlock, it's not my best work, but instead he, defends himself and insults people for not liking this piece of shit. And this movie sucked. Bruce Willis looks so tired and bored that he might as well have been asleep on screen. And I would have accepted just a 2-hour movie of Bruce Willis sleeping than the crap that we got. Number 10, Saw 3D. Why did it make the list? Because it's the 7th Saw movie. We do not need any more Saw movies. We didn't need any more after 2. Enough! Number 9, Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. Now, Jackie O'Hara, Larry was pretty good as Freddy Krueger, but the movie was a mess. It didn't work for me in any way. The violence was bland, boring, and it could have been awesome, but it wasn't. Number 8, Legion. This came out in the very beginning of the year. When I saw it, I made the statement, I know the year had just started, and this is probably the worst movie of the year. I was horribly wrong, but it was still bad enough to make the number 8 mark. Why is it on the list? Well, because the premise is ridiculous and nothing about it makes any sense whatsoever. let me just say this, okay, so there's this baby that has to die for some reason. We don't know why. It's never explained, and we're never told why. And the people are defending the baby inside of a restaurant, a diner, and it is completely surrounded by angel-possessed people. Yeah, just run with it. And they all come there driving with cars and just stand around and don't do anything for 2 hours. You've got cars, just ram into the building. What the hell? Number 7, Skyline. Yeah, Skyline. Why did it make the list? Well, Skyline is just a horribly put together pile of crap. Hey, it's got the guy from Scrubs in it. Hey, he's annoying. And I was glad to see him die. In fact, I was glad to see everyone die in this movie. That was the best entertainment you could have with this film.
I just want to point out, too, that they made that movie trying to prove that they were good directors with Alien vs. Predator 2. I think it was number 2.
This was Alien vs. Predator's Requiem. The directors of that made this to show that they're good directors.
Because apparently in AVP 2, Fox was doing a lot of backseat directing.
Yeah, and they were like, well...
And they said that's why the movie didn't do well.
Yeah. So, Skyline, a horrible piece of shit. I say watch Independence Day. I mean, if you're into that, watch that. Or hey, you know what, just wait for Battlefield LA, which I'm going to call Skyline done right. It's not even out yet. Number 6, Prince of Persia. Now, why did this make the list? Because it's boring. It's Jake Gyllenhaal as a superhero. Disney was trying to sell us that Jake Gyllenhaal can be an action star. Yeah, that's a fail. Number 5, Clash of the Titans. Well, this could have been cool. It wasn't. Sam Worthington was Bland Worthington, and Liam Neeson as Zeus. Pretty badass, I'll admit. But the only time I want to see him as being God is when he's when he's a lion. Oh, I know that movie sucked too. Which brings me to number 4, Chronicles of Narnia. The Voyage of the Dawn Boar Treader. I already went into length on that one, so just watch that review. Number 3. Now, this is one I didn't get a chance to review, so now as good as time as any to review it. Tron. Yeah, and I was so excited for this film, and I couldn't have been any more disappointed. Yeah, literally, sad face panda. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot here just because of time constraints, and if you really do want my full take on it, just post a request in the comment section, and I'll do a video all alone completely detailing why that movie sucked. But I'm going to stick with one full statement here. The biggest failure of Tron 3D is that your characters are never allowed to explore the world of the grid. Yeah, there's a few cool moments where you see the scope and size of the grid, and it really is the show-stopping moments of the film. You're like, wow, this is really cool. But then they never explore it. You know, films like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, hell, even like shit like Alice in Wonderland, Avatar, they all explore the environments that you're in. You get to see different locations. You know, you let your characters go out into the world and see it. Here in Tron, you never get that. The characters are always either in a dialogue sequence or in an action sequence. There's never a moment where you get the characters to look around and be like, wow, look at that, that's cool. Because then your audience sees what the character is seeing, and then you're allowed to see what makes this world unique. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, his father explained to him what the world is, so he didn't need to explore it. Yeah, he kind of needed to. If you're going to put a movie in a fantastic location and then not show your audience any of it, then what's the point of putting it in a fantastic location, is what I'm saying. So that's why Tron 3... That's my biggest complaint against Tron 3D. There's a lot more I would love to say about it. A lot more. How the story makes no sense, how the characters, how most of them are annoying as hell. Hell, the only thing that's good about this movie is Jeff Bridges. He looked like he was having fun. You probably thought this movie was a bunch of schlock. Throughout the whole movie, it reminded me of The Dude. He was just like, man, this movie sucks. I'm going to act like The Dude for the rest of it. Hey, you know, you look like he was having fun, and if Jeff Bridges is having fun, I'm kind of having fun a little. That's the only highlight of that film. Moving on. Number 2, Alice in Wonderland. Now, I did a good half-hour review of that piece of shit, and that movie sucked. And it still sucks to this day. I don't know why or how anyone likes this film. The character, nothing about the movie makes any sense. Nothing is explained. Why is the Jabberwocky working for the Queen? Well, because they're evil. I don't know. It's never explained. And then finally, at number 1, The Last Airbender. Why did it make the list, and why is it number 1? Well, because M. Night Shyamalan has finally shown that he's the true biggest hack in Hollywood ever. 20 years ago, if I would have told people that this guy was going to be the worst movie director of all time, nobody would have believed me. You know, around Sixth Sense. But this film, why is it so bad? Well, because it's all exposition. Every bit of dialogue is exposition. And it's like, this isn't how normal people talk. Like, here I'll quote a line from the movie. And now I'll pull out the scroll that I got from the secret library. They'll show the location of where the spirits are. Nobody talks like that! Why he wrote the movie like that, I don't know. really, the question you got to ask yourself about The Last Airbender is, who did he make this movie for? Was it for the fans? Obviously not. Couldn't get the name of the characters right. Did he make it for the general audience? Must have been, because the whole movie is exposition, and that's the only way you can make people understand what's going on. Really? I honestly believe he made it for himself, because he has been having such horrible luck at the box office with his shitty movies, that he's like, I want to make this huge fantasy epic to show everyone that I'm a good director. So really, it's just a vanity project for him. That's why he did it. And that's why it's the worst movie. That's why it's #1. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my list. If you have any comments that you'd like to post on any of the picks, go ahead and post them, and maybe I'll get back to you. And I hope you guys have a good new year. Peace out.